That. There's our first technical difficulty. Good morning. The meeting will please come to order. By virtue of authority vested in me as State Regent of the Nebraska Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, I now declare this 119th State Conference now in session. The Assembly will please remain standing until the colors have been posted. State Chaplain Bev Sheely will give the invocation.
Heavenly Father, please bless our Nebraska daughters here today, whether in person or virtually, and give your healing touch and comfort to the ones who couldn't be present today because of the loss of a loved one or illness of their own family member. They are also with us here today in our thoughts and our hearts. You know what an extremely rough year this has been for our Nebraska daughters across the state. Our executive board has been besieged with devastating losses of spouses, children, and major surgeries. Yet here we are gathered together in our homes and at this meeting place to fulfill our motto of God, home, and country. Those words carry so much weight. We know that if we put you first, you will bless and protect our home and country. Let us not be afraid to do what is right and holy in your sight. In the book, The Triumph of Job, it states, Job may not have known the reason for his trial, but he proved with every acknowledgement of God's omnipotence, Satan's bid for power is diminished. We ask you to embrace us all and fill our hearts and minds with your love so that we may join together this week in our united efforts to enhance the present and future of the Nebraska Society, Daughters of the American Revolution. We ask these blessings in your most holy name. Amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America will be led by Honorary State Regent Ellen White.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Americans' Creed will be led by Honorary State Regent Jackie Ullman.
I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies.
The national anthem will be led by Honorary State Regent Cheryl Clark.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in victor, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
The colors will be posted and the pages may retire. Thank you. You may be seated. Please, as a courtesy, take this opportunity to silence any technology devices. And thank you to our pages who are running the Zoom that are working on helping any of our members in our digital convention be able to speak and allow those. Again, those of you in digital, as a friendly reminder, remember that you can use the chat feature at any point because we do have people watching that chat in motion. Welcome to the 119th Nebraska State Conference. Our conference theme, as you know, is Party On, Nebraska. As a child of the 90s, the phrase party on was a common greeting. It had the meaning of carry on whatever you have been doing. And yes, this phrase was made popular by the movie Wayne's World, Party Time, excellent. But in a certain way, it perfectly describes how each of us have tried to carry on in new ways in the last year. Yes, it's been hard in many ways, and yes, each of us can't even describe at times how hard it was for us. But with focus, we have found ways to carry on the mission of God, home, and country. As you know, I've been thinking a lot about how the phrase party on in this past year and weekend will be no different. We are finding a way to party on. We will be expressing our gratitude in various ways to our veterans, to our chapters, to our members in both physical and digital format, so that all of us can be part of the party of Nebraska DAR. I've often wondered what it is that motivates each of us to party on in times of adversity. And I've come to one important conclusion, and that is if we each want to make a difference in the little things, big things and small that we do, that we want to make a difference that is truly from the heart. We want to leave the world a better place than what it was. And we want to find ways of giving kindness when maybe at times we feel we live in a very unkind world. We want to celebrate the good that we can find in a difficult situation. And we want to thank others that really work to bring the best out in us. So I want to say thank you. And I look forward to hearing about all of the accomplishments of Nebraska DAR in this next year. And I know for certain we will keep partying on. As a reminder today, I want to kind of do a quick video from the podium cam, because I know that those in the digital assembly don't have the opportunity to see all the fabulous red. And I know I even see some people on Facebook even waving back to you all. And I know in Facebook world, I'll even try to get the officer podium as well, that I know I don't get to see all of the red. So I want to issue a challenge to those of you here physically and those of you on camera as well. Let's flood social media with our red today. Let's share the power of red. And I'm sorry, when you come from a state like Nebraska, the power of red is big. We have made it through bomb cyclones. We have made it through COVID. We will make it through the blizzard that we are facing in the Panhandle this weekend. So just because, as you guys know, I couldn't bring my fire and knives batons today, but I do have to defer to the cheerleader, and I know my personal page. So come here, Stacy. So we're going to do a little on the spot Go Big Red cheer. So I know I'm going to step away from the mic because I don't want to blow out at home. But those of you, let's just do a nice Go Big Red for red today. So we'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red! So I know that that's the smile a lot of you needed in our digital world as well, because I know the hard part is we haven't had the interpersonal communication side of this year. And as a teacher of public speaking, this interpersonal side is so big. And so with that, I would like to now move on to some very special introductions. Seated in the front row or digital front row are our even lovely women that I have come to rely on in various ways. The women of wisdom, your honorary state regents. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced, and we will use our sunshine hands, as I shared with last night with our Board of Management meeting. So ladies, please remain standing until all have been introduced or your hand raised in digital world. Jacqueline Wortman, honorary state regent. Cheryl Clark, honorary state regent. Ellen White, honorary state regent and past vice president general. Martha Riggs, honorary state regent. Julie Fancher, honorary state regent. Leanne Reichenberg, honorary state regent, past vice president general, also serving as state parliamentarian. Beth Herring, honorary state regent. Judy Eckler, honorary state regent. Jackie Ullman, honorary state regent. Connie Pletner, honorary state regent, and Suzanne Jarman, honorary state regent. Let's give them sunshine applause. Your 2020 to 2022 state officers have found great ways of leading the state over the past year, and I'm beyond thankful for each of them. Please remain standing or have your hand up until all have been introduced. Vice Regent Marcia Shavlik, Chaplain Bev Sheely, Recording Secretary Ann Peterson, Corresponding Secretary Deb Miner, Organizing Secretary Ann Cox, Registrar Diane Dice, Historian Sharon Farringer, and State Librarian Leanne Rouse. Let us show them our appreciation. Thank you. You may be seated. Nebraska Daughters have the opportunity to have several representing us in various committees and organizations on the national level. They include National Vice Chairman, Commemorative Events, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Judy Eckler. DAR Scholarship, Margaret Howells Hamilton Scholarship, Ann Cox. Units Overseas Luncheon and American Indian Scholarship, Dee Williamson. National Vice Chairman of the North Central Division include Children of the American Revolution, Mary Dolan. DAR Genealogical Preservation Committee, Marcia Shavlik. Genealogical Records, Alicia White. Public Relations and Media, Candace Kane. National Committee appointments are as follows. America 250 Task Force, Cheryl Clark, Sandra Spicer, and Deborah Wagner. DAR Leadership Training State Coordinators, Mary Hankey and Leah Culver-Whitcomb. Those elected to national clubs include National 50-Year Club Chaplain, Ellen White, National Outstanding Junior Club Treasurer, Candace Kane, and National Vice Chairman Association President, Leanne Reichenberg. Let us show all of these ladies our sunshine hands. Your Veterans Administration volunteer service representatives and deputies are. And before I continue, I want to say I owe a great thank you to these ladies because I know each of you have been stepping up in helping our VAs, especially work with our patients this last year. For the Grand Island Medical Center, Donna Andreessen, representative, Barb Endorf, Leanne Rouse, and Cheryl Grieving, deputies. Grand Island VA Medical Center, Leah Culver-Whitcomb, representative, Amy Lambert and Ann Kirk, deputies. Omaha VA Medical Center, Ann Cox, representatives, Kathy Ocasio, Glenda Irish, Karen Fitzgibbons, and Judy Fletcher, deputies. Let us show them your appreciation. The Nebraska District Directors and Genealogists include District 1, Chimney Rock, Ellen White, District Director, Genealogist, Ann Peterson. District 2, Pony Express, Kimberly Andreessen, District Director, Genealogist, Cheryl Clark. District 3, Ogallala District, Judy Eckler, Director, Genealogist, Sandra Spicer. Homestead District, Director, Phyllis Erickson, Genealogist, Connie Zimmerman. Let us show them your sunshine hands. It is a pleasure for me to give you a preview of our conference guests this weekend. Our guest of honor will be Judy Eckler. She is an honorary state regent of Nebraska, member of the past regent, and member and past regent, pardon me, of the Lewis Clark chapter in Fremont. She is currently serving as the Commemorative Events Committee as the National Vice Chairman of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for the 100th anniversary, and is the Nebraska State Protocol, Historic Preservation, and Historic Preservation Grants. She has served as president of the State Vice Regents Club and second vice president of the National Officers Club. Let us welcome Judy, and it is going to be a pleasure to hear from her on Saturday night. Sunshine hands. We will also be hearing, in regards to from Judy's presentation, a very special video, and it'll come from Specialist 4th Class Lonnie Bertelson, and he is a former tomb guard, and it is going to be a pleasure to hear about his experience. I want to personally thank Judy for lining up this very special video presentation and the group of daughters that were a part of recording it so that we can share it here at State Conference and in digital format. We will have a very special conference speaker tonight with Kelly Carr Augustine, who, by the way, was my long-term sub at school for the past 3 weeks. And she will be our special speaker speaking on the topic of Day in the Life of the Rodeo Queen, and I will read her full bio later tonight. We will now have greetings from various parties that have worked to make this conference successful. It is my pleasure to first share greetings on behalf of Grand Island Mayor Roger Steele. I am Mayor Roger Steele, and I have the great opportunity to welcome you to the city of Grand Island and wish you all a rewarding conference and wish you all that you have a great time. As an organization that has been in existence since 1890, I am so proud of your mission to promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism. These principles are very relevant and important in our country today. I understand you will be recognizing the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And I also hear a presentation on God, Home, and Country. And thank you for choosing Grand Island for your conference. Please enjoy our fair city. So let us give him sunshine hands for his remarks. Our next group of remarks I will also be given on behalf of the hotel and Amanda Duvall. She unfortunately is having to attend her grandmother's funeral today, and I know that our hearts go out to her and her family. And as a special note, Honorary State Regent Jackie Ullman's husband is actually presiding over the funeral. So that even shows the interconnection of Nebraska DAR and even our own hotel event staff. And I know Amanda and her staff have been ecstatic in having us. They had the Elks last weekend, us this weekend. And as Amanda said today, it's a little start of the piece of normalcy. And I am beyond proud of how this hotel has really stepped it up to help us out. So please, as you see Amanda tomorrow night, please feel free, those in physical assemblage, give your greetings, and please be very supportive of the hotel staff because they have done wonders in helping us out. Our next greeting comes from Governor Pete Ricketts, and I have a special greeting as well as a special presentation on his behalf. Dear friends, welcome to the Daughters of the American Revolution 119th State Conference, and congratulations to the DAR on more than 125 years of service. Nationally, more than 1 million women have joined DAR since its inception in 1890. Since being founded, the Daughters of the American Revolution have done important work to preserve our history, support our education, and promote patriotism. Thank you to the DAR's Nebraska chapters for your dedication and volunteerism in our state, guided by your motto of God, Home, and Country. The DAR has helped us shape the values of family, faith, civic mindedness that are factors that define Nebraska. You should be extremely proud of the impact you have made in our state and the good life. I wish you a successful conference and offer my sincere congratulations to the DAR for having given over a century of service to our great state of Nebraska. God bless Pete Ricketts, Nebraska Governor. Sunshine hands. And it is my pleasure to present to the Nebraska Daughters and I want to make sure I get this right on video, a proclamation that has been made in our honor today. State of Nebraska proclamation. Whereas the state of Nebraska is thankful for the various organizations that enrich our communities. Whereas the Nebraska Daughters of the American Revolution, which has over 1,188 members, is an organization that has given more than 25,365 hours in community service to the state. And whereas the Nebraska Daughters of the American Revolution meeting is March 11th, 12th, and 13th to celebrate their 119th conference. And now, therefore, I, Pete Ricketts, Governor of the state of Nebraska, do hereby proclaim March 12th, 2021 as Daughters of the American Revolution Day in Nebraska. I do hereby urge all citizens to take note of this observance. In the witnesses, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the state of Nebraska to be affixed this, the 19th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2021. Secretary of State and Pete Ricketts have both endorsed. So Nebraska Daughters, today is in honor of us. So I think that is kind of a very special milestone. Thank you. It is my pleasure to now also have greetings extended to you from our digitally visiting state regents. So I know a few of them are even watching this morning, and I know a few of them even had to adjust their times due to our central time zone. And I know that as we get to Mrs. Broderick in California, she definitely had to do some adjustments with the California time zone. So our visiting state regents this year include Arkansas, California, Iowa, Kansas, and Nevada. So let us go ahead and I will share bios and their greetings. Our Arkansas State Regent is Gretchen McGee. She is a 20-year, third-generation member of the DAR and is the Arkansas State Regent for 2020 to 2021. She was the past Arkansas State Vice Regent, State Librarian, and Osage District Director. Her services include terms as State Chair of the President General's Project, Financial Review, and State Conference, in addition to being the 2014 National Finalist for Outstanding Junior. On the national level, she has been a National Vice Chairman for the American Heritage and South Central Genealogical Records, as well as the 2019 to 2020 President of the State Vice Regents Club. We Rise by Lifting Others Up is the state theme of the McGee administration, and the symbol is 3 balloons, red, white, and blue, representing the Arkansas Daughters working together in support of historic preservation, education, and patriotism. The State Regents Project is Service Dogs of Distinction, and she has chosen the Veteran Shoebox Drive as a statewide project. Gretchen has a doctorate of audiology from the University of Oklahoma of Health Sciences Center and serves as a practitioner and practice owner for Better Hearing and Balance Connections with 3 service locations in Northwest Arkansas. She lives in Bella Vista, Arkansas with her 4 young children. She is active in their school activities, youth sports, and other community organizations. We will now hear from Gretchen McGee.
Hello, Nebraska Daughters. I'm sending greetings from the state of Arkansas. I'm Gretchen McGee and the state regent here. And our administration theme is we rise by lifting others. And I really feel like now is a time when we can certainly do that in looking at all of our strengths, especially as the pandemic has changed what all of our state conferences look like and our strengths and our activities. I'm so excited for you as you carry on through your event and find a way to celebrate your achievements over the past year. My blessings to your state regent, who is a great friend of mine, and I can't wait to see what you all have completed this year.
Let's give sunshine hands to Gretchen. Thank you. Your California State Regent is Susan Abbott Broderick. Susan was born and raised in Farmington, Massachusetts, A 26 careers years in cardiovascular nursing took her through the cardiac intensive care unit, cardiovascular thoracic surgery intensive care unit, and the cardiac catheterization lab for caring for critically ill newborns to the elderly, including heart transplants. In 1998, when she thought motherhood would be out of her retirement of nursing, Susan's life took a different turn. She learned that she would not be a mom and burned out from the intensive pace of cardiovascular nursing and went back to school and studied interior design and has owned and operated her own business since 2005 and is currently planning to retire this year. Susan has been a DAR member since 2007 and has served as chapter, district, and state level in various levels of service. Susan has been married for 30 years to Dr. Dave Broderick, a practicing orthopedic surgeon in Sacramento, where they currently live. Where not only DAR activities or working, Susan enjoys reading historical fiction and nonfiction, researching her New England ancestors, gardening, cooking, and wine tasting. Summer vacations find her and David in Massachusetts spending time with family and friends. We will now hear from Mrs. Broderick.
Thank you, Madam State Regent, for the opportunity to bring greetings to Nebraska daughters from the 10,128 active daughters in California. The California State Society is made up of 116 chapters in 15 districts. Ladies, we're all making history this year with our first and hopefully last virtual state conferences, and we're being stretched in ways we never could have imagined just 1 year ago. We are pioneering new ways of leadership as we learn these new platforms of technology in order to be together and carry out the work of our societies. We are nothing if not resilient. This California daughter is grateful for the opportunity to be with you today and to learn how Nebraska daughters are rising and shining in their service to God, home, and country. We all have much to learn from each other, and I'm grateful that the virtual platform allows us to do just that. Madam State Regent, this California daughter thanks you for the opportunity to be with you and would like to express warm wishes for a very, very successful state conference.
Let's give Mrs. Broderick sunshine hands. And it was a pleasure to visit last week her state conference in digital format as I was recovering. Our next visiting state regent is from Iowa with Marla Suter. Marla joined the DAR in February 2011, and 3 months later, in May of 2011, she was appointing an organizing regent of the Henry Knox chapter in Knoxville. That chapter was officially organized in April 2012, and she led the chapter as regent through December of 2015. She has served the Iowa Society as a Southeast Director in 2014 to 16, State Historian in 2016 to 18, State Vice Regent in 2018 to 20, and is currently the Iowa State Regent for 2020 to 2022. Marla is a recently retired Air Force Master Sergeant. She began her career on active duty for the U.S. Army, assigned to Fort Myer, Virginia, from 1977 to 1981. At the end of her enlistment, she moved to New Hampshire to pursue a civilian career in litigation as a paralegal. After a 16-year break in the military service, she joined the New Hampshire Air National Guard as a paralegal for the JAG office while continuing her civilian practice as a litigation paralegal. She deployed in 2001 in support of Operation Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. In 2013, Marla retired from her civilian career and moved to Iowa, but continued her military career by transferring to the Iowa Air National Guard, where she served as a resource advisor and budget analysis for the Distribution of Training Operations Center. Marla retired for the second time in November of 2019 with a 25 years of service to the military. Marla is an active volunteer within her community. She is a past secretary, treasurer, and president, and current board member of the Marion County Historical Society. She is the post chaplain for the John Meyer VFW Post 3519, a member of the Marion County Pioneers Cemetery Commission, the State Association for Preservation of Iowa Cemeteries, the Marion County Genealogical Society, and PEO Chapter M. Marla also serves as a Knox County community, Knoxville community as the location coordinator for Wreaths Across America for the Graceland Cemetery. Marla has one son, Richard Suter IV, and who, with his wife Christy, make their home in Haarlem in the Netherlands. Rick is a software engineer, and Christy teaches at an international school. She tries to visit them as often as possible. Mrs. Suter.
Madam State Regent, thank you for inviting me to bring greetings on behalf of nearly 1,900 Iowa daughters in 44 chapters from across the state. It has been amazing for me to watch Iowa daughters throughout this nation as they rise and shine in service to America during this pandemic. Through virtual meetings, social media platforms, and emerging technologies, we are all learning new ways to stay connected with each other and to continue to serve others with all their hearts. Although it goes without saying that I would have much preferred to be with you in person today, even though that is just not possible, I am so very grateful that I have this opportunity to share this virtual experience with you. I am looking forward to seeing and hearing what Nebraska daughters have been doing during this pandemic to stay engaged with each other, to care for one another, and to continue the DAR mission of service to promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism. So from Iowa daughters who are serving others with all their hearts, to our dear neighbors, the Nebraska daughters, we wish you all the best as you gather together this weekend to celebrate your accomplishments over the past year. Have a truly fantastic state conference. Be safe, be well, and know that Iowa daughters are sending their love.
And thank you, Marla. Appreciate it. And I am looking forward to bringing digital greetings to your state conference in April. We will now hear from our neighbor to the south with Kansas, with Susan Mexner, Kansas State Regent. Susan joined the Pauley Ogden chapter as a junior in 2005, where she was the chapter regent from 2009 to 2011. She has held numerous officer positions and chairmanships at the chapter and state level. At a national level, Susan has served as the National Vice Chair for the Volunteer Information Specialist Committee, or VIS, National Chair of the DAR Leadership Training and DAR Good Citizens Committee. As a member of the Long Range Planning Commission as well. Susan received her Bachelor of Science in Biological Science from the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia, a Master of Science from Old Dominion University in North Fork, Virginia, and is currently pursuing a PhD in Leadership Communications from my favorite Kansas college, the University of Kansas State in Manhattan. Susan is a Senior Executive Administrator for the Dean Director of the College of Agriculture at K-State Research and Extension for Kansas State University. She and her husband, Monty, enjoy hiking and traveling. Let's look forward to hearing from Susan, please.
Greetings, Nebraska daughters. My name is Susan Metzger, and I have the privilege of serving as a state regent to your neighbors to the south, Kansas. I appreciate your state regent, Candace Kane, sharing this opportunity to bring virtual greetings on the occasion of your state conference. While my home is in Manhattan, Kansas, and I bleed purple for the Wildcats, today I'm wearing red for these greetings for my Husker friends. For now, I'm limited to visiting you virtually, but I look forward to visiting you in person someday soon. I wish you a wonderful and successful state conference as you celebrate the winds of freedom over the prairies by being the pioneers of leadership.
Thank you, and let's give her sunshine hands. And for those of you who don't realize, the reason I am a DAR daughter is because of a Kansas daughter, my great Aunt Bessie. So as I say, I always will have a very special place for the Kansas daughters because of my DAR journey. Our last visiting state regent is actually one of the state regents I will stand in line with, usually at DAR, and I had the pleasure of getting to know Lori Bagwell when I visited their state when I was National Vice Chair of the Junior DAL a few years ago. Lori is a 22-year DAR member from the Battle-Born chapter. She has held the offices of State Regent, State Vice Regent, State Treasurer, State Organizing Secretary, State Historian, is an honorary chapter regent, an organizing regent, a chapter regent, and a chapter vice regent and treasurer. Committees that she has served on include Chapter Achievement, the DAR Good Citizen, DAR Scholarship, and Junior American Citizen, as well as Literacy Promotion. Her state regent projects include DAR Schools, Junior Membership, and Children of the American Revolution. She is married to James, and their children include Kurt, Paula, and Lisa, and they have 5 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. Fun, interesting things is she enjoys reading and camping and thinks that candy should be included at all meetings. Her DAR theme is Inspire, and her personal inspirational statement includes, "My grandmother Mary was so special. She taught me that every woman should wear a touch of red. Red reminds us of the power to do good in the world. Therefore, her favorite colors are red and black." Her professional accomplishments include being a deputy director for the Department of Corrections and the first woman ever elected to be mayor of Carson City, Nevada. Let us greet her with warm greetings as she shares hers.
Hello, Nebraska Daughters. I am Lori Bagwell, State Regent of Nevada. I am so honored to be here virtually to bring greetings and good wishes to you for a successful conference. I know you will enjoy your conference with your State Regent Candace at the helm. Candace and I will be forever friends. For me, this is one of my favorite reasons for being a member of DAR, friendship and common goals. I live in the state capital, Carson City, and if you are ever in the area, please reach out. I would love for you to become my forever friend too. Have a wonderful conference.
Let us give sunshine hands to Lori. Will you please rise as I read our final greetings from our NSDAR President General, Denise Doring Van Buren. Dear Nebraska Daughters, it is a pleasure and privilege to send my very best wishes and warm greetings to the members of the Nebraska Society on this, the occasion of your 119th state conference. Congratulations for achieving another year in an outstanding accomplishments. When your impressive volunteer work is combined with that of the daughters who serve around the world, together we make an astounding difference in local communities on behalf of our society's vital and relevant mission of God, home, and country. Thank you for all you do. During our administration, we are encouraging daughters to rise up in service of our nation and to then shine by telling their DAR story through traditional as well as social media. Let us project a bright light on the values of membership in the DAR, which I believe has never been more important to America's future. Our work on behalf of our veterans, active duty personnel, students, educators, and citizens is critically important, and our historic preservation mission is particularly necessary on the eve of America's 250th anniversary. There are many ways to be involved, and there is something for everyone in DAR. I ask each member to stay connected to the many exciting developments of our national society by subscribing to our DAR magazine and following us on social media. Be sure to invite others to research their family histories and then join us on our important quest to celebrate our American values and story. Please accept my sincere appreciation for your generous financial support of our national society and my Rise and Shine President General's project, DAR Constitution Hall, the next act. While it is the most ambitious single administration project ever undertaken, I have every confidence that you will join me in raising the more than necessary to complete the final stage of the restoration of our National Historic Landmark. Ladies, let us rise and shine for America and for DAR. With sincere admiration, Denise Doring Van Buren, President General. Let us give Mrs. Van Buren sunshine hands, and thank you. Now hear from State Vice Regent Marcia Shavlik.
As Vice Regent, I would like to welcome our guests to Grand Island on this, our 119th state conference. This is such a wonderful time to visit Nebraska and Grand Island, especially as the annual migration of our famous sandhill cranes continue their journey on to Canada, Alaska, and Siberia for breeding. Bird watchers from all over the world come here this time of year just to see the cranes. It is especially meaningful to have you as our guest this year. Grand Island is home to the acclaimed Stewart Museum of the Prairie Pioneer, the Nebraska Nature Center, and now home to the Nebraska State Fair. In this unprecedented time of COVID-19 pandemic, we welcome you all to Nebraska and Grand Island and hope that your brief visit here will be a memorable one, whether it be in person or virtual. Thank you for attending our 119th state conference.
Let us give Marcia a round of sunshine hands, and thank you. All right, so at this time, if you will just, as I say, be gracious, because I know that's the one thing all of us DAR members can, and we will go slightly out of order. And I know I just would like to, as I say, allow Ann Peterson, Betty Mapes, and I think there was one other person, Ann Mosier, that they have asked to give their reports early. So I will go ahead and start with Ann Peterson, please.
Best teacher voice.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam State Regent. This officer is honored to serve as your recording secretary. In spite of the COVID pandemic challenges and thanks to Zoom technology, this officer has taken notes for all regular and emergency Nebraska State Board of Management, Executive Board, and Finance Committee meetings. She then developed minutes that were approved by our state regent and sent to the Finance Committee, Executive Board, State Board of Management, honorary state regents, and chapter regents as appropriate. Notes were taken for brainstorming and organization of the 2 strategic planning committee meetings. Each of these meetings was in a Zoom format. She has collected state reports from state officers, chapter regents, state committee chairs, and special state committees that will be compiled into the state proceedings book following state conference in March 2021. As a reminder, if she does not currently have your report, please forward it to her. Once completed, it will be sent to the printer to be distributed at Summer Forum. Additionally, this officer has assisted Captain Christopher Robinson's chapter regent by doing the final draft and printing of the chapter's 2020 to 2021 yearbook, contacting a few chapter members concerning payment of dues, and acting as chapter secretary pro tem as needed. 3 funerals were attended in person, plus 2 virtually. Cards were sent to those members, spouses, and families of deceased members and members' families. Madam State Regent, it is truly an honor and a pleasure to serve in your administration as we rise and shine for America. Thank you for being a new pioneer of leadership, especially in this time of COVID turmoil. Thank you.
Let us go ahead and give sunshine hands, and I am beyond thankful for everything that Ann has done to help us in the State Executive Board. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Betty Mapes to give her chairman report. Betty.
Thank you, Madam Regent. this person is the Lone Willow Chapter Regent. The Lone Willow Chapter met in person for 7 of their 9 meetings in 2020. Excuse me. The chapter met one time by conference call. The chapter enjoyed a quiet year due to COVID restrictions. Constitution Week was celebrated in much the normal fashion. Our annual tea was canceled, but gave our traditional gift of a flag to a veteran in our community who was in need of a flag. We awarded 3 DAR Good Citizen medals and certificates. And our Calvin Stoger of Valentine won the state essay contest, and we awarded 20 DAR Good Citizenship medals, youth citizenship medals. They will be sent to the students receiving them. We sent Christmas cards and stamps and kitchen items to the veterans at the Hot Springs Veterans Center. 3 baskets were provided for the state regents projects that was auctioned off by Zoom. Several good programs were enjoyed by the group, including one on quilts a lady had made for her, honoring her Civil War ancestors. Over the last year, we spent time to revise our bylaws, which have not been done since 1989, so a good update. Several of our groups have worked on cemeteries. One has been working with Find a Grave and adding information to their site. One has been working with communities to make sure their information is up to date and organized, and another has written a grant and received money for fencing at cemeteries. A very different year and missing the in-person contact with our friends across the state. Thank you, Madam Regent, for allowing me to serve.
Yes, and go ahead and continue. Let's give Betty sunshine hands for her regent report, and we'll continue with the chairman report.
This chairman has put out monthly conservation on the Nebraska DAR site. Questions from different chapters have been researched, and we have worked with our state regent to lay the groundwork for the DAR Penny Pine project at state parks that we will be implementing in 2021. As I look at the reports, I think about all the conservation that probably does not get reported. In this coming year, I hope to encourage all chapters to report some of the things they did not this year. Several chapters did a great job. Thank you. 27 chapters reported in conservation, but only 24 participated in conservation events or programs. The findings that I had, 34 individual or chapter projects were completed. 112 total meetings included a conservation minute. 29 members participated in Earth Day or in Arbor Day. 77 members participated in No Straw September Challenge. 265 members reported consistent recycling of plastics. 7 members reported participating in a beach, lake, or river cleanup. 82 members planted sunshine gardens or pollinator gardens. Niobrara Butler Johnson chapter recognized a family in their community for conservation efforts. Their application was accepted at national, and award will be given to the family at York this spring. St. Ledger County chapter continued a practice of several years of saving past issues of the American spirit and putting labels on them with chapter information and then donating to different medical offices. Omaha chapter also saved past issues of the American spirit and gives them to teachers to use in the classroom. Sioux Lookout chapter has a member that weekly picks up trash at Lake Maloney and recycles what she can. Niobrara Butler chapter member has a Niobrara Butler Johnson chapter has a member that works with the Lion Club to recycle eyeglasses and hearing aids. Also picks up trash on her daily 16-block walk. Loop Trail chapter did a great job of recycling and repurposing many items and a great job of reporting it. David City chapter will be recognized for registering pollinator lands. Mary Catherine Goddard chapter for maintaining gardens at the historic home in Wahoo, Nebraska. Deborah Avery chapter for weeding and cleaning up around historic monuments in the area. Thank you to the chapters for the conservation minutes read and the conservation awareness that you brought to your chapter members and committees. I look forward to serving you this next year. Thank you.
Let us give Betty a round of sunshine hands. And I'll let you do your last one.
I'm also the chair of the Nebraska Service Projects Grant. And this year, we did not have anyone apply for that grant, although we had a few inquiries. This chairman has revised the information about the grant, hoping that this coming year, some chapters will feel they can apply. The revised information will be placed on the Nebraska DAR site. And if for a little information, the Service Project Grant is a $500 grant from the $500 grant from the state. And it is to promote and increase service projects by fulfilling the mission of NSDAR, historic preservation, education, and patriotism. And what these projects should do, follow with the following criteria: support the Nebraska DAR, support a national or state DAR committee work, support a member of the New Horizons Capstone Project, support elements of community service or a community activity. It's an easy grant to apply for, and the rules will be online, or give me an email and I'll send you out the rules. And I'd sure like to spend that money this year. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Regent.
Yes, thank you. And Betty, thank you for all you do for our state society and chapters. We are most appreciative. At this time, I will go ahead and invite up to the podium Ann Mosier to share her report. And as she's coming up, I know one of the things we had to amend this year was not having the darlings and some of our live music. But I'm going to do some recruiting now, because I know you guys know in DAR, when there's a pin for it, people like to do stuff. So next year, especially with Mrs. Van Buren being here, y'all need to know You Are My Sunshine. And I'm hoping for a polka band for You Are My Sunshine, because again, this Bohemian girl needs her music and polka. But I know we need a whole bunch of lovely singers in the Darlings, and I know we're going to have all kinds of lovely piano music. So I also want to thank Mrs. Rotman at this time, who normally is one of our pianists that's here, that we will be utilizing all of those talents next year. So I'd like to hand things over to Ann Mosier. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Regent. I'm the commemorative events state chair. So 27 chapters, 100% response reported that 99 daughters participated in July 4th parades and celebrations. Programs given: 14 programs, 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War; 9 programs, 400th anniversary of the Mayflower; 2 programs, 250th anniversary of the Boston Massacre; 14 programs, 100th anniversary of women's suffrage; 5 programs, 100th anniversary of the dedication of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier; 6 programs, 200th anniversary of the Santa Fe Trail; and 9 programs, 75th anniversary of World War II. 17 chapters registered as a commemorative partner with the USA Veteran War Commemoration. Many veterans recognized with Certificate of Appreciation and Vietnam War veteran lapel pins. Other commemorative events: POW MIA celebrations at America's 20th Century Memorial, and a letter dated December 22nd, 1941. Helen Poindexter wrote about her experiences of the Pearl Harbor bombing. Quilts of Valor, signed Christmas cards, Troop-a-thon for Christmas packages, Memorial Day observances, placing crosses on graves, participating in Wreath Across America, and assisting with Veterans Day services. 2 outstanding commemorative events sent to North Central Division. 100th anniversary of women's suffrage included a video and August special edition chapter newsletter to celebrate the 19th Amendment with colored pictures by Mary Ann Bothwell, Regent of Major Isaac Sadler LaBelle View chapter. 400th anniversary of the Mayflower, 25 written pages with colored pictures by Donna Andreessen, Betsy Hager chapter. 21 commemorative event certificates have been awarded to Nebraska chapters for honoring one or more commemorative events. Congratulations, ladies, for a job well done. And thank you, Madam Regent, for letting me serve for you.
And thank you, Anne, with the round of sunshine hands. And people who wanted to be here physically. And just as a heads up, there's going to be even some special things filmed that will be pushed out later as well. But those will be made available to the state. So I know this is kind of that first ever advantage of digital, that people can experience conference in various ways. And who knows, maybe next year at 2022, we will have a very full assemblage. So sunshine hands for that as we kick off. The next order of business will be the reports of your state officers. And I will give you a heads up, mine is a little bit longer. I'm giving myself the grace, so please don't time me timers, but I will make it fun and interesting as expected. And mine will be a full year report, just because I know with state conference, it is very helpful for the assemblage to have the insight of what this officer has been doing. It was truly an honor to be installed as your 2020 to 2022 state regent during our virtual Congress. It may not have been the same as others in the past, but it is truly priceless. And I'm going to let you guys in on a personal secret. About 15 years ago on eBay, there was a piece of Constitution Hall floor, a plank. And you guys know I am a theater person, and I wanted it because it was a stage, and I bought it. And the moment I took the oath of office digitally, my cowboy boot was on that plank. So I am the only one in my state regent class that can say I had a foot in Constitution Hall when I was installed. I have come to embrace, as you even see by that personal extra digression, of being a digital regent, because simply that's what I am. Since July, I've attended one physical chapter meeting visit of our 27, and I'm happy to say it was with the McCook chapter. So McCook has bragging rights with that. And I want to thank Sherry Dack of the chapter region of 37 Star and her membership. I have attended 5 digital chapter events, including that of Omaha, Loop Trail, David City, Fort Kearney, Deborah Avery. I know as locations open up, my physical meeting dates will start filling up my calendar, and I'm happy to say June of 2021 is looking awful busy. Chapters are always welcome to invite me in any format they desire, and I'm looking forward to visits of any type. My first National Board of Management meeting in July was limited. However, the President General reported that nearly $58,000 at that point from 18 countries participated in our digital Congress, and many of the Congress events were also recorded. This proves nothing can truly stop DAR. My other 2 National Board of Management meetings in October and February were digital too. The members of the National Board in October had the opportunity to have a group photo posted in purple to support domestic violence, a fact that affects 1 in 5 women in their lifetime. October 8th, this officer attended programs about the South Carolina Liberty Trail that is working to protect over 200 Revolutionary War battlefields, a program that I found intriguingly interesting. The February National Board of Management meeting was also very educational, and the program I most enjoyed was that on the use of DNA to help reunite families of those soldiers who have been missing in action for more than 75 years. It is humanity meeting forensic science and help to give families closure. And some of these families didn't even know they needed closure because the remains were of a great uncle or even a distant relative. The key fact is that all 3 National Board of Management meetings worked to carry on the work of the society in difficult times. I know that there have been things that have just been assumed that people would know about Nebraska DAR. And a highlight from my August Board of Management meeting was sharing a statistical report. And I feel it is important to reflect upon that today. If you look at our state membership when they joined, at the time, we had 583 members of that August number of 1,174 that joined Nebraska within the past 10 years. If we look at how many have joined since 2000, that number is 784. That means 390 of our members, like myself, have over 20 years of membership in the state. 129 joined between 1999 and 90. 122 joined between 1989 and 80. 82 joined between 1979 and 70. 41 joined between 1969 and 60. 7 between 59 and 50. And we have 7 members that joined between 1949 and 41. Let's give sunshine hands, especially to our 41. That is pretty impressive. Our goal is knowing that we need to keep growing in knowledge and leadership of DAR. Programs like Members and New Horizons can help in that growth of DAR. Our own state board, when we even talked yesterday, is a reflection of those numbers I just shared. The hope is over the next 365 days, educational growth can be the goal of our state and chapters. This officer is proud of the state's use of Facebook to share about chapter events, committee works, and workshops as a way for us to stay connected. It has been great working on video workshops that have expanded our member knowledge, including over 450 views of the August Board of Management. October Board of Management had 670 views. To me, this is another success of our state technology and speaker staff, empowering our members. I have 2 very special memories of the past 9 months as your state regent. One of them was October 19th, 2020, and the surprise birthday project of celebrating the herd that brought $1,551 towards my state regent project, and a yard full of cows that I will say entertained the whole town of Burwell. Cows of every sizes and shapes. It was fun even having the kids at school saying, "Miss Kane, we helped buy that cow." One of the other wonderful memories of this past year is also a hard day for me, but it was February 26th, the day I had my emergency surgery. However, it is the love and support of the Nebraska Daughters, as well as my community and family, and even special people like Amy Balla, who packed her whole Suburban full of my items to get me here today. After our October Board of Management meeting, this officer got ready with preparations for this, our 119th state conference. This blended conference to me is one of the successes of this state to show we can move on. We can take care of business and we can give our daughters the best of both worlds. I want to provide options throughout the next year that all daughters feel their own personal needs are met. And I am prepared for August board if needed to be blended and October board to be blended if needed. But we have to give our daughters options. I just lost my spot real quick. Okay, your 2021 Technology Committee of Mary Dolan, Jennifer Miner, and Amy Lambert should truly be praised for everything they have done to make this 2021 state conference successful. As well, thank you for the Sunshine Hands as your state conference committee, including some very special help from Jackie Ullman as she was helping me during my recovery. This officer wants to thank the full state membership of DAR for the special honor of being your state regent. Just like the pioneers, we may not always know what adventures will face us from day to day. But I know that with the hard work of Nebraska DAR, we will shine on with the prairies of our great state, and we can look to the windmill whenever we need a reason to push on and work things out in a different way. This past year has been difficult, but has been an amazing experience. I am grateful for the opportunity for your openness to try new things and to adapt. And it has been an honor to serve. Thank you. And yes, go for it. And I want to thank the work of your state officers in preparing their reports. And I know many of you even had to prepare your reports even a few weeks in advance so that we could work in this blended format. So at this time, we will now proceed in officer order. We will now hear from State Vice Regent Marcia Shavlik.
Madam State Regent, this officer has had a challenging year while trying to survive the COVID-19 pandemic. Activities this past year have included attending grave marking ceremonies for Utah daughter Diane Wilson in Stewart, Nebraska, and my chapter member Therese Whitbeck's cell in Omaha, Nebraska. writing a book about Honorary State Regent Suzanne Jarman's Barn Quilt Project and our patriotic trail across Nebraska. Being installed at the 129th Virtual Continental Congress as Nebraska's State Vice Regent. Completing the members course online. Serving as the inaugural state chair for America 250 Committee, looking for the gravesite of Major Isaac Sadler in Pennsylvania, and collaborating with the Nebraska legislature to volunteer as part of the new Nebraska Semi-Quincentennial Commission. Preparing a digital history book for Honorary State Regent Suzanne Jarman. Participating in 2 celebrations for the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, one in Hebron, Nebraska, and one at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Omaha. Presenting the State Outstanding Teacher of American History Award to Scott Wilson at Central High School in Omaha. Laying a wreath at a ceremony at Omaha's Memorial Park on POW MIA Day. Leading the new State Long Range Planning Committee. And honoring a woman in American history, the Honorable Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who devoted her life towards equality for all by collaborating with designer Nina Aiken to create a scarf in memory of the late Justice Ginsburg, with proceeds to date of $1,500 from the scarf sales to the Nebraska DAR. Serving as a national vice chair for the North Central Division, the DAR Genealogical Preservation Committee. Serving on the Bylaws and DAR Good Citizens Committee for the Major Isaac Sadler LaBellevue chapter. And coordinating the judging for our Outstanding Chapter Regent Award this year. Even though we are living in unprecedented times, through DAR we can still find our purpose and do service work that matters. How we serve may change, but we will continue to rise and shine. Thank you, Madam State Regent, for the opportunity to serve.
Let us give Marcia a round of sunshine hands, and thank you, Marcia, for your service to the state. We will now hear from State Chaplain Bev Shealy.
Madam State Regent, as you well know, this past year has been unprecedented in the history of National NSDAR and Nebraska NSDAR. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused chaos, fear, isolation, illness, death, depression, and in some cases, a sense of hopelessness. We may not have been able to meet in person as we had in the past, but I want to reassure you that our chapter chaplains and state chaplain have not slowed down in their personal outreach to our fellow daughters and family members through cards, phone calls, letters, and much needed welcome prayers through our state prayer chain. None of us knew just how crucial the role of chaplain would be in 2021. I'm so proud and grateful to each chapter chaplain in Nebraska who diligently and passionately gave of themselves this past year. Their compassion and service will be visible and duly noted in my report. This state chaplain sadly reports the passing of 22 beloved Nebraska daughters, whose lives will be beautifully memorialized and celebrated our state conference memorial service tomorrow morning. Our state chapters have been busy. 120 sunshine reports have been given at chapter meetings. Chapters have sent 44 birthday cards to members over 90. 15 chapters have celebrated the NSDAR Day of Prayer on October 11th. 8 chapters have celebrated National Day of Prayer on May 7th. The following chapters have conducted memorial services: Bonneville, Captain Christopher Robinson, Loop Trail, Major Isaac Sadler LaBellevue, Shelton, St. Ledger Cowley, and Omaha. The following chapters have installed grave markers: Bonneville, Major Isaac Sadler LaBellevue, Shelton, St. Ledger Cowley, and Omaha. Chapters have also visited 90-plus-year-old members in care home facilities, held sisterhood programs for members, and many other acts of love and kindness which have been done by the chapters, which will be highlighted in the chapter regents' individual reports. This state officer has done much of the same, but for the essence of time, I will leave that out. I have most recently taken leadership webinars on the provided by the NSDAR. I serve on the Long-Term Strategic Planning Committee with Marcia Shablik as chair. And I've just sent out the chapter chaplains the information they need for the upcoming year. I want to remind our chapter chaplains to support the National Day of Prayer. This is an annual observance held on the first Thursday of May, designated by the United States Congress, when people are asked to turn to God in prayer and meditation. The president is required by law to sign a proclamation each year encouraging all Americans to pray on this day. Madam State Regent, it is an honor to serve under your administration.
Thank you. Let's give Bev sunshine hands. And I would like to also offer Bev my personal thanks, as she has been a very good person to be checking on me these last few weeks. So at this time, we will hear from Corresponding Secretary Deb Miner.
Madam State Regent, this officer has performed the following duties in accordance with the Nebraska state bylaws. I've compiled the Nebraska DAR Leadership Directory, printed and mailed it to recipients, updating it as needed. Preparing for an in-person summer forum / Board of Management and refunded or donated fees as directed by daughters and submitted the credentials report. Also done likewise for the virtual fall forum / Board of Management meeting. I've initiated and sustained communication with members at large, sending them notices of meetings, the state newsletter, and exchanging emails. And disseminated the credentials blank for the 119th Nebraska State Conference to each chapter region and tallied their responses in preparation for a successful in-person and virtual event, and attended all state executive board meetings via Zoom. To all chapter regions, in an effort to continually maintain an accurate state leadership directory, this officer, in accordance with Nebraska Standing Rule Number 5, must, in addition to the national and e-membership, be informed of elections, resignations, or other changes of chapter leadership. Thank you for your consideration. Madam State Regent, thank you for the opportunity to shine during your administration.
Let us give Deb a round of sunshine hands. Thank you. At this time, we've also heard previously from Dr. Peterson. So in order, we are ready to move on to our organizing secretary, Ann Cox.
This is Ann Higgins Cox, Organizing Secretary for Nebraska State DAR. This year of 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us. I first would like to thank all of our members who have retained their membership. My hat's off to our chapter regents who have met through Zoom or in small groups to keep our ladies engaged in the DAR mission. I would also like to express my sincere sympathies to our members who have lost family and friends to COVID-19. Nebraska DAR brought in 64 new members in 2020. Large gatherings of prospective members did not meet, but 40 prospective members were contacted and assigned chapters through the prospective member database. My volunteer work at the Omaha National Cemetery and the Nebraska Western Iowa Healthcare VA system ceased beginning March of 2020 due to the strict regulations for safety. Both the Omaha National Support Committee and the Veterans Administration Voluntary Service Committees continued to meet through phone calls. Limited activities went on. Wreaths across America were placed and sack lunches were provided for Victory Apartments with no public gatherings. In February, I returned to the VA to assist veterans to receive their immunizations. As National Vice Chair of the Margaret Howard Hamilton Scholarship, I know a qualified student will be attending the Learning Center housed in the University of the Ozarks next fall, thanks to the help of a DAR scholarship. Thank you, Madam State Regent, for allowing me to serve.
Let us give a round of sunshine applause. Thank you, Ann. At this time, we will hear from Treasurer Linda Hayden. Linda.
In December, this officer gave a PowerPoint presentation via Zoom called Rise and Shine, Shining the Light on the Chapter Treasurer, the ABCs of the Chapter Treasurer position. This was attended by chapter treasurers, some chapter regents, and other DAR members. And approximately 25 attended. And the highlight of this event was that our Treasurer General, Don Lemongello, joined us and joined the complete presentation, and then at the end held a Q&A session. Mrs. Lemongello stresses the need for chapters to sign up for the direct payment of dues rather than sending checks by snail mail. This year, because only 25% of their staff was in the building at the time, it took longer to process the payments, and many chapters out of the state, I don't think we had any that were calling, wondering why their dues had not been processed through there. Mrs. Lemongello is also very active in her role as Treasurer General. She has a Facebook page for chapter treasurers, and so if your chapter treasurer is not on that, you might urge her to join that page. And Mrs. Lemongello also started a state treasurer Facebook page group. Our finance committee is made up of Betty Mapes, Louise Travers, Connie Pletner, Pat Stiles, Jackie Ullman, Ann Peterson, and also State Regent Kane and State Parliamentarian Leanne Reichenberg. And I appreciate all the times and advice that we had for our committee members or meetings. Also, just a reminder that our organization is a 501c3 organization. And according to IRS regulations, there are certain things that cannot be done. And some of them are campaigning for politicians, like if you're representing DAR, or lobbying. And our projects and our donations and expenses should be in line with our mission. And if it isn't, it could jeopardize our status at some point. But after the PowerPoint presentation, I learned a lot when I had to research to make sure I was submitting the correct information. But there's a lot out there on the treasurer's positions, and I'm going to try to get a digital manual of all the information put together so that everyone knows where it's at, because you have to look in many different places sometimes.
And let us give Linda a round of sunshine hands. And I know that she, as well as the Finance Committee, has done an outstanding job. We will now hear from State Registrar Diane Dice.
Madam State Regent, no one needs a reminder of what a difficult year this has been. Nonetheless, Nebraska Daughters have risen to the challenge and diligently worked to grow our chapters and answer the difficulties presented. Many Nebraska chapters answered National's challenge, and we added 64 members in 2020. As State Registrar, it was my privilege to speak to several regents throughout the state. They were committed to the possibilities presented to grow their chapters and were eager to accept help from the various committees offered by the CDRC. During this year, I welcomed new members with an email. Many responded, and it afforded me the opportunity to have some pleasant exchanges. Personally, I assisted several chapters with membership application and answered questions for chapter registrars. Nebraska 2020 numbers are as follows. The total membership, we opened with 1,196 members and closed with 1,183. As mentioned, 64 ladies joined our DAR chapters in 2020, and in welcoming them, I stated in my letter that my hope was and is that they find their chapter meetings both educational and entertaining, and they find the friendships so many of us enjoy. 25 Nebraska Daughters passed away in 2020, and they will be sorely missed. 18 members resigned, and 40 members were dropped for non-payment of dues. Many thanks to the chapter regents and registrars who have pushed through these difficult times and continue to grow our chapters. Madam State Regent, thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Let us give Diane a round of sunshine hands. The reports from historian Sharon Farringer will be placed on file. The report from State Librarian Leanne Rouse will also be placed on file. Your state officers are a hardworking, dedicated group of daughters, so let us please show them our collective appreciation. Thank you, ladies. Our district directors, I would like to also feature at this time. 2020 marked the advent of Nebraska using this leadership platform. And I have given each of these 4 women the special distinction of, as I say, almost working to write parts of their own job description, because this is our first time of having women in this leadership role. And one of my personal goals in the next year is to reach out to some of my friends in California, including a good friend of mine, Sarah Kyman, who've actually served in California Society as a district director as well, and share that. As a special note, Sarah has been one of my personal pages at a distance this past year, so I want to thank her as well at this time. But I also want to say that she has actually been one of my DAR friends the longest, because she was actually one of my friends in college, and we just found out coincidentally we both were in the DAR. So it comes to show you how kindred spirits meet. Our district, well, and she's also one of my roommates. So our Nebraska districts were established in 1946, and now nearly 75 years later, we are still working to make them better. In 2020, we also featured them by giving them names as a way to help in the establishment of their identities. For review, District 1 is Chimney Rock, and your serving district director, thank you to Miss Ellen White. Let's give her a round of applause. District 2, Pony Express District, Kim Andreessen. Let us give her a special round of applause. District 3, Ogallala District, Judy Eckler. Let us give her a round of applause. And Homestead District, Phyllis Erickson. Let's give her a round of applause. I know a few of you have asked how maybe the names were selected. And I worked to feature aspects of historical significance of the state that would endure and could also become lessons as we keep sharing our historic preservation mission of even sharing our great Western heritage of this state. Because Nebraska, we're known as the homesteading state. We've even had some honorary state regents who featured the homesteading aspect as part of their state regent project, and this was one of the ways to cue in to that historical significance. Thank you to these ladies for their creativity, support, and very creative ways in supporting our chapter regents. We will now